And what I was trying to do in that scene is, one, poke a little fun at what happens in academic life, since I am a law professor and I have these crazy conversations sometimes with students. But also show how, from the safety of sitting at a desk in front of a computer, something can suddenly be scary. And I tried to base that moment on my one... Don't get scared on my behalf yet, because it has a happy ending. But I had a scary thing happen to me right when my first book, Judgment Calls, came out. The book was just coming out, and it was kind of a happy time, and I was about to go on book tour, and USA Today had me in the paper, and it was very, very exciting. Nothing beats that. And I'm checking my email from my office at Hofstra, and I'm clicking through my various messages. And I open one of my messages, and it says, check out page 220. That was it. That's all it said. Check out page 220. And I looked at the from address, and it was just, meaningless email address. It wasn't a name or anything like that. It was some gobbledygook at hotmail.com. Check out page 220. And I'm getting ready to delete it as spam or something, and I'm like, okay, one, that is not spam, because spam is usually trying to sell you Viagra. Two, it's kind of coincidental that I get an email right when my book is coming out that says check out page 220. So I grab my first novel, Judgment Calls, and I open it to page 220. And that just happens to be the scene where the protagonist, Samantha Kincaid, finds a knife stabbed into... isn't that terrible? I don't remember. Her refrigerator. Somebody leaves a knife in her refrigerator with a note basically saying, next time we're going to kill you and your little dog too. Kind of scary stuff, that somebody has been in her house and has left her this threat. And it's one of the, in my opinion, one of the scarier parts of the book. And I'm like, okay, I am now really terrified. And the moment for me was telling, because here I was doing the most mundane thing, sitting in my office, reading papers and getting ready for my class and just checking my email, and what could be safer than sitting at your desk in the middle of the day, and you open something, and with a few words, your imagination takes you to a place where suddenly you realize that someone out there wants to scare you and has been thinking about you and has been focusing on you and has made you the center of their thoughts. And it's really terrifying, I think. And so Megan's sitting there with her mind wandering, remembering when her mom taught her how to type and checking her Facebook and playing Scrabble, and then all of a sudden she realizes her life is about to change with a few words, which I didn't tell you. And so the story of what happened with page 220 is I've completely freaked out and started calling people and asking them what I could do, and finds out you can do nothing, basically. And then I got some good advice from Michael Connolly's sister, runs his website, and she told me, she was really great, and said, you need to set up an anonymous email account where you buy all of, if you're going to shop at thegap.com, you don't use your Alafair Burke email address, you use some random address that doesn't have your name on it. You've got to start keeping your online identity separate. You've got to be careful because there's all these crazy people out there. And all of a sudden, I feel like I'm under siege, and I've got to set up new email accounts, and I'm setting up anonymous phone bills, and I'm taking my name off the cable and putting it in my husband's name. And all of a sudden, I feel, all famous in a bad way. How did this happen? All I did was write a book. So a few days goes by, and I get another email from a different email address that I didn't recognize. And I'm like, oh no. And I open it, and it says, I think that the page you're looking for is page 220 of Lost Light. I'm like, what? So I go and get my copy of Michael Connolly's Lost Light, and I open it to page 220, and I still don't understand why anyone is telling me about page 220. And then I remembered that 2 or 3 weeks earlier, I had been on Michael Connolly's message board because I know him and I know his sister does his website very well. It kind of comes full circle. I had been checking out the creative things he was doing on his website and that Jane was doing on his message board. And there had been a conversation online there about Michael Connolly making a reference to Elvis Cole in one of the Harry Bosch books. And I had posted, using my email address, I had posted a thing saying, I must have missed that. What page is it on?